It turns out Elmer Fudd, not the only one to have a problem with wascally wabbits. Garth Williams' 1958 picture book, The Rabbit's Wedding, is beautifully illustrated. It drew praise, then outrage, and then, yeah, you guessed it, these bunnies, they got banned. The story is actually very simple. Two rabbits meet in the woods, they have adventures, and at the end of the day, they realize they don't want to be apart. And so they have, as the title suggests, a wedding. Ooh, and all their woodland creature friends are happy for them. Who wasn't happy? The White Citizens Council of Alabama. That's who. They actually said the author was trying to, here's a favorite word of book banners, indoctrinate children into believing that marriage between black and white people was acceptable, and pushed for a ban on these bunnies. A state library that refused to remove the book was then targeted by State Senator Eddins, who called the book integration propaganda and threatened to withhold library funding if the book was not removed. The library couldn't survive without funding, so the director finally conceded to removing the book from the children's section and had to instead shelve it in controversial materials room instead. Sorry, guys. And sadly, the threat to withhold funding in order to ban books is not a thing of the past, and it's actually gotten worse. In 2023, a new state law to deduct funding from any Missouri state library who fails to limit access to certain materials and books that the legislator deems unacceptable went into effect. And now Missouri librarians can potentially be arrested or jailed just for doing their jobs. Missouri politicians say this really isn't about book bans, just, government doing what it always does, putting strings on money to make sure it's all responsibly spent. Don't look over here. Because that's really what they're saying. They don't want to admit that they're banning books because if they do, you might notice what they're doing. And if you notice, you may then use your words and get others to use theirs to speak out and stop them. And that is definitely what they don't want you to do and what I think you should do instead. I get that you may want to roll your eyes at a 60-year-old book ban on a story about bunny rabbits. And you probably want to believe that what happened then no longer matters now. But it does. Because go with me on this. Try to imagine what could have happened next if people had not stood up to the ban on the black and white bunnies in Alabama. The ban would have stayed in effect, yes, but it's not only that. Seeing that law was allowed to hold, well, that would have encouraged like-minded politicians in other states to enact similar bans, not only on this book, but push it farther. To push it on more books, on ideas that they did not like. Because as they made clear, the ban was not about bunnies. It was about the ideas the bunnies to them represented. Ideas about equality that they wanted shut down. And had they been able to do that, think of the chilling effect that a ban on ideas about equality would have. Think of what it could have done to the civil rights movement. Instead of pushing forward, it could have been pushed back, which is exactly what they are trying to do now with the book bans that are happening. Book bans are about shutting ideas down, controlling ideas, limiting progress in areas that certain people don't approve of. Don't let them have that power. It's up to you. Because if you do let them have that power, who knows what freedoms will be lost next.